Welcome back to Knowledge is Key. I'm your host, Kei Renee, and over here is Disco. I might end up taking these bracelets off. They might get on my nerves. They're doing a little jiggle jiggle.
Just do the, like the rappers do when they be in the booth.
Yeah. So how you been? You been outside? You been outside?
What made you say that?
Because I see your shirt.
I have been outside. Shout out to. I thought you was gonna say because the tan line. The tan line is crazy. Yeah. Shout out to SAG. Shout out to WGA. We've been out there for the writer's strike, just documenting it and supporting the actors and the writers. As you know, I'm in TV and film. So
we know.
Right now, that movie I thought was getting made this year. it ain't. We ain't gonna say it's done. We just gonna say it's on hold. It's on hold right now.
The same way I'm supposed to be going on that Jay Leno game show.
Oh really?
On hold.
Yeah,
we've been on hold. They tried to put me on another show that's like okay to film.
Oh, something that's not like
it's like
union based or something.
It was like nothing. I was like, sorry guys, it's not really my vibe. I'll wait.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is it's looking scary though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I got some insight. It looked like it's going to around like October.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh that's gonna be a situation.
Nah, for real.
Especially like for people who like need the bread to pay their bills. I know a lot of actors, writers are, paycheck to paycheck. They need that next gig so that they can fuel their life.
No, it's legit their livelihood. It's it legit. This affects the entire economy in LA. But if you want me to be honest with you, a part of me feel like it's more so by design.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that LA, I don't know, I don't have the factual numbers or whatever, right? Yeah. But so many people continuously come out to LA to, pursue their dreams as an actor or whatever, being a star. And I think that this strike I don't think that any of the top dogs have any desire to like, let's help these people make this money. I feel like it's a thing of just like, let's starve these people out and so we can get some of these people out of the city.
Interesting.
That is an interesting
that's
perspective.
And you guys hear that interesting voice over there. I know we're going to introduce our guest in a little bit. But that's interesting. And honestly, we forgot to ask people how they were doing. Everyone who's tuning in, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Thanks for tuning in with us. But that is definitely a situationship. And if you follow our Instagram, I did share Disco's post that he posted. So if you follow the Knowledge is Key Instagram, you can keep up with all the documenting that Disco's doing out there. We'll repost everything that he's doing. So just check out our Instagram and you can see the first interview that he did. We shared it. So
yeah, it was cool. That was with what's his name, Keith?
That's up to you.
Dang, I forgot. It's a dude from Insecure. What's his name? Light skinned dude
with green eyes.
The barber.
We're gonna plug him in here somewhere.
Yeah, this clip. This clip. Nah, but it's I would say this. On one end, it is it sucks that it's happening, but it's also too very, how do you say, humbling to know that A-list actors realize that this affects them too.
Yeah, that's
yeah, it's not just the little person or the person that is making less than $26,000 a year in SAG. It's legit. No one in SAG, which is probably all A-list actors and they cannot work right now.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure they got mortgages and shows and movies that they were planning to come out with, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of them were probably looking to
what?
Buy a house.
Yeah.
You see,
that was such a good pivot.
You like my segue?
I love that segue. So speaking of buying a house, you guys, Today's show, we are going to be talking all about the real estate industry. So if you are interested in real estate, you are in the real estate industry, and you need to just freshen up on your game, we're definitely going to do that here today. And I know, DeMar, you're a little more excited probably than me about this because, of course, you guys know he's a real estate agent. And he just don't be out here, flexing his muscle.
I used to be.
I'm excited about, used to be, whatever. Once you are, you are. Okay, so I'm excited to hear what y'all about to be talking about. So we have with us Jamez Baulding. He is a real estate agent with the Listing Group, and he specializes in luxury real estate. And I actually got to meet him on the 4th of July. Getting it cracking, getting it cracking, getting it cracking. So everyone, let's welcome Jamez Baulding.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. I didn't even know the intro was gonna go that long about the SAG, but
No, I mean it's definitely something that we're feeling in real estate as well. I mean, just to start right in, I mean, I'm seeing such a decline in people's ability to buy in areas like Studio City, which are primarily the places where actors and actresses are purchasing and leasing, and a lot of executives also rent in those areas when they're filming certain shows. Right. So we're seeing, places stay on the market longer. We're seeing a much more competitive, housing market simply because this writer strike is affecting everyone's ability to make a paycheck.
Oh wow, you never even thought that it was gonna trickle into real estate.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely it's affecting everything. That's why I said, I think that it is it's by design.
It's interesting too because the thing that I'm thinking about though, is there gonna be something positive that comes out of this? Are projects moving forward going to be more creative because people are going to have to be more selective about what they make because people aren't making money right now? Or is that going to mean that we're just going to get flooded with everything that was backlogged?
Well, I just to bring some perspective to that part of it. I think you're going to get flooded with backlog stuff, but this strike is more. It's not just about the money situation. I don't know if you heard about the AI technology in it too. So
affecting writers and
the affecting writers part is one thing, but also they have AIs doing
body scan
background work
to eliminate background work.
Yeah, so they're trying to get rid of the background workers.
I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah,
so that's the whole reason why the actors are stepping in is because they with background workers, they're trying to implement a system where basically you'll do 1 day's work, they're gonna scan you,
and they can put you in all kinds of stuff.
In perpetuity, forever. They own your likeliness, and you're never gonna work again.
Oh my gosh, have you guys seen Black Mirror?
No, that's what I was telling him.
Yeah, she was telling me about that episode.
Yeah, Black Mirror, the very first episode is literally this, and that's why you gotta go watch it. It's literally this.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where that came from. Maybe that's where that idea.
It probably literally was aligned with the fact that a strike was getting ready to happen, and all this was getting ready to happen. Because I always do sometimes believe that television shows are projecting what the future's be holding, and so it's just the timeliness that Black Mirror episode drops, and then maybe 2 months later is that the strike. And the exact thing they were talking about. But in the Black Mirror one, it all blew up.
It all blew up.
Yeah, it all blew up.
Well,
so we don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, you know who produced Black Mirror?
Oh
gosh.
Was Disco.
No. Netflix. But I'm just saying, that's actually what we strike that today, Netflix. Okay. But they know, Netflix. No, they know. So yeah, it's. That's why I said I feel like they're trying to get rid of people. It's more. It feels like that. But I'm interested to know how do you think that would interrupt the market out here, even in the future.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of people who have been in the business, they've been able to save a lot of money. There's a lot of wealth in LA. So I feel like for a large majority of people who are going to be purchasing in the luxury market, they've kind of already set themselves up to do that. So I think there'll be a decline in certain markets, like leasing, for example. I think we'll see a decline in that. But I think for the people who are able to purchase homes, they're still going to purchase homes. Because right now might actually be a good time to, because if you're not working, you can put the mental stamina into the whole home buying process or make renovations, or kind of like what we saw when COVID happened. People realized, wait, I'm at home. I don't really like this space. Like, maybe I should move. Maybe I should downsize. Maybe, So I think there's going to be a lot of shifting, but I don't think it'll like.
You don't think that, so? You don't think that people will be like afraid because of just like how everything is affecting the market right now? You don't think that they'll be afraid to say like, oh, maybe I don't want to jump into this home right now because if I do, and what if they never come with a deal and what come with something? I know you're saying that those people probably already got the money for it.
Well, not necessarily that, but I'm just saying there's still going to be market shifting. So maybe those people are considering downsizing. They're still going to move out of their places and find something that may be more practical and more affordable.
Right.
So it's not necessarily that like the luxury market itself, like people are only going to be like buying, it's going to be, okay, maybe I'm buying, maybe I'm going to start leasing. Or maybe I should sell my house so I have more cash, so maybe I can start a business, or maybe I can do something else.
Right.
But I think the shifting is what's going to keep the market consistent,
Gotcha.
So even if we're not, targeting that luxury buyer that's going to be spending, I don't know, $1 million plus to purchase, that same person is going to be renting something for, a decent amount.
So you can still attract them regardless.
Right.
So I'm so curious because you're probably the first real estate agent that I've spoken to who deals in the luxury market. So what is like the difference in luxury market versus regular real estate? Sorry.
Well,
do you even want to say like a regular real estate agent?
And it's interesting that I make the distinction that it's luxury market because I do everything. I do leases. I help people sell, buy, invest. So when I'm saying the luxury market, it's more of like a luxury experience, And I think that we're in LA, so we're already paying a premium. So we're all in the luxury market. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yes, for a lot of agents, that means home sales at a certain price point. And, me and my partner, we do all kinds of deals. We do people that are first-time home buyers just entering the market in that like $600 to $1 million price point. We do leases. We help people, rent their places if, they're downsizing or moving or relocating. So we do a lot of different types of real estate deals.
Gotcha.
In LA, what?
Nah, I was laughing. I was laughing off the entering the market, $600 to $1 million. When I was first did real estate, it was a while ago. I got into real estate in 2012, I think, somewhere around there.
Much different market.
Oh yeah, 200. You was in something cool.
You could get a condo.
You was good.
But honestly, that's when things were good. That's when a lot of these people who came out here to be in the film industry started buying up real estate.
Right.
Because a lot of our clients are investors who, purchased at that price point and now are able to reap the benefits of that appreciation. So, that's also a really interesting thing is like you can see how over time when people have lived in LA for a long time, they've been able to kind of reap the benefits of being in a city that, just keeps getting more expensive.
I do got a question about that too, right? Kind of you saying over time. So going back to COVID, right? What effects have you seen did COVID do to the market, if any, in that pocket versus now? So 2020, people are, COVID happens, everybody's in a panic, whatever. 2021, it seemed like everybody came out of COVID and the market, like they just start buying like crazy. Is that a thing? Did the market fall?
So I actually haven't been in real estate long. I've only been in real estate for 2 years.
Okay.
And something that, really benefited me was that I came in under someone who's been in the business 25 years. So I get all of that knowledge and experience, right out the gate.
Right.
And I also entered during the pandemic. So I got to experience like the high of real estate before now understanding what it's like to live in today.
Right.
And that was a little bit challenging because when I came in, it was like everything was selling. I mean, it was crazy. We were getting all these people who wanted to put their houses on the market. We got people who wanted to buy because interest rates were low. Mm-hmm. So, all of our deals when we were on the selling side, many of them were cash. Many of them, many of them were cash. People were just like, people had more money.
They also had more PPP scams. I'm just
Listen, no bias over here. We ain't judging nobody. You got that PPP, make it happen.
Look, if it checks out at the bank and my lender's happy, you do your business, okay? But we saw a lot of people with cash. But honestly, the interesting thing was I saw a lot of people purchasing that were in the medical industry. People that worked for some of the big companies that were making vaccinations.
I can bet.
So that was interesting. But what it did for the market, I think, it kind of shifted things up a little bit. It gave people an exit or an entry to the market, which was great. But how that differs from now, money's more expensive. So people are holding on to their properties. Yeah. Mortgages are almost like assets now because it's better to have a lower interest mortgage and, pay off your house than it is to have interest rates like they are today. Yeah, if you think about it, during the pandemic, there were really low interest rates. People were getting 1%, 2%, 3%. Now we're at 6%. For someone buying at that entry price point, that percentage is significant. You know what I mean? We're talking about thousands of dollars that they are saving or losing basically now versus then.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good market for people that are willing to play the game, because for first-time home buyers, they can get in the market at a higher interest rate and just, hope and pray, basically, that interest rates go down and then they can refinance so that they have cheaper monthly costs. But overall, yes, it's a challenge. People, I think, probably feel more comfortable renting because then you also have all the associated costs with home ownership that you have to consider. So there's just like layer after layer. And I think that, the good thing for people to do is to actually have an agent, that way they can constantly tell them about the market and build a relationship, because at the end of the day, this is a people business, and that's the part of it that I like the most.
Word. So do you feel like what do you feel will actually make interest rates go back down? Because those were record low interest rates. So do you feel like it'll ever go down that low? And if so, what is the driving factor to do that?
I think the Fed is trying to figure that out, because we have an inflation problem. We have, them trying to correct the inflation problem. And I think that that's why we're at a standstill right now, and interest rates aren't really shifting much.
Right.
But I've heard two conflicting stories. I've heard that maybe the Fed will try to mitigate inflation by dropping the interest rates a little bit. I've also heard the opposite of that. So it's kind of difficult to know that. You just kind of have to stay active to the market and see what's happening in our government, because really they're the ones that kind of set the tone for the market.
So basically,
because they're controlling how much our money costs, basically.
No, I know. I was about to go. I was about to go way left.
I don't even know what he was about to say, but I
could just see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
Something was like
the way he shrugged his shoulders.
I guess y'all ain't never gonna hear it then, because I was about to.
Whatever you about to.
Were you about to lay in?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm very curious, because I feel like I always hear that term, oh, it's a buyer's market. This is a buyer's market. And I know my godmom actually told me, girl, don't you buy nothing right now. You need to wait until the top of the year. But I feel like every year you need to wait till the top of the year. What time of the year is ideally the time of the year that people are supposed to even be buying?
That's a good question. And I think it depends on what's happening. It depends on so many factors. That's why you kind of have to really understand what someone's motivation is, because if you have the money and you're just looking to invest, maybe right now is the right time if you can work out a strategy that works for you and your finances. But if you're looking for the lowest possible interest rate or some other factors, then that will determine what time of year. But just on a overall, like landscape of the market, it tends to die around the holidays, like November through February, right? It's kind of hard to get deals done then. But as soon as it gets warm, like the spring and the summer, like right now is when people are making a lot of moves. One, because like, you know, it's actually nice to go outside and experience these things, which is crazy because, I mean, real estate is people. So it is a reflection of what we are experiencing, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think probably summer is the best time, but it's also the most competitive. So you kind of have to be... That's when all the good stuff really comes out, I feel like.
Oh, like that's when people were hiding things in their portfolios and then they like release
them. Because the real estate
agents
agents are like, now's the time to do it. You know, you have people in transition. School's about to start for families. You have people coming back from vacation and realizing that, you know, they want something different.
Yeah, and I want to stay here.
There's a lot of things happening.
Okay. I mean, I want to stay here.
Where?
In LA.
Yeah, I do too.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You know, I'm an LA native. I've accepted that I'm probably never gonna buy here.
No, see, this is my thing. Like, okay, buying wise, I ain't gonna hold you. I stalk Houston real estate pages.
Bro, don't do that.
Okay,
stop. Yeah, knock it off. Cause I do too, and it's the most depressing thing in the world.
It's all of Texas. I love Austin. I love Dallas.
Yeah, Katy, Texas. All of that. It's all nice.
I'd be like, yo.
They be don't do that. Don't stop. Yeah, knock it off.
And it's the space. We don't have a lot of space.
Right. We don't have no space.
You just have to go out a little bit further.
You have to
get
yes.
it. Like
that's true. But I mean, LA County proper.
Yeah.
You know, of course, if you go out into the valley and other surrounding places, you have space. But I think it's interesting because I'm from Kentucky and there's tons of space. Like I grew up on an acre of land. You know,
nobody can have that. Anybody here can tell you, you got that. You got that. Have fun in Kentucky, my guy.
I grew up on 100 square feet.
Right. Yeah, it's a difference. So coming here and experiencing how everything's just smaller, people don't have yards. It's crazy what people pay for houses here. What you pay for a house here, you could live like a
that's
king.
why I said it's hard for me, even as a native, to be like, oh, I'm gonna buy it. My spot is Thousand Oaks.
I love Thousand Oaks.
That's where I'm moving.
That kind of reminds me of being back home. Actually,
exactly. You know what I mean?
There's space and it's beautiful, but to your point, I think it's all about the overall strategy because there are many ways to make money in real estate. You don't have to buy initially in LA. You can buy investment properties in Indiana and build wealth that way. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get ownership eventually in LA. But having real estate,
can you break down at least one? Like there may be someone out who's like, ooh, I want to know how to make money in real estate outside of me owning my own house.
Well, yeah, that actually is a good that's a good thing too, because I own property in in Arkansas.
Okay.
So if you could break down, like certain people don't even know that you can do that. They think that you can only buy in wherever you live.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not the case. And, you know, we have a higher income in LA. So you probably qualify for a lot of everything that's all over. I said a lot of everything.
Right.
Everything else. So, you know, for me personally, like I'm developing my own real estate investment strategy right now. And most of the properties that I'm scouting are in places like where I'm from, in Kentucky, Indiana, because the price points are lower. I mean, I can get an entire historic building with 3 units above it for like $300,000.
Exactly.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you can get a loan that only requires you to put down 10 to 15%, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah. And it's going to pay for itself. And then you're building equity. And then eventually, once that property appreciates enough, you can pull the money out of that and buy something in LA, but still hang on to it. It becomes an asset. So I think people should just consider developing a real estate portfolio or real estate strategy for generating wealth. You know, it's more about the wealth plan, in my opinion.
So let me ask you this, and this is just to give people more context on it. When you say you get qualified for out of state, how would someone go about that?
So if you actually know an LA-based real estate agent, a lot of times they can refer you to an agent in whatever area it is that you are planning to purchase, because you need a representative there that understands the market, that already has relationships with lenders, knows the area. And once you get connected to that person, then that's how the process starts.
Right.
So it really just comes down to like, okay, do I know somebody in real estate? Maybe I should reach out to them. Maybe they know somewhere, know someone where I'm trying to purchase.
But what's like the process? Like, is there any like extra special paperwork that has to be done when you're like purchasing and you don't live in that state? Or is it like everything is pretty much standard?
Well, it depends. It depends on if you own real estate already. It depends on if that place is going to be your primary residence. All of those things are considerations on what type of mortgage you will qualify for. So it kind of just depends on your unique situation, but that's why I think it's important to have a representative in that area, because they're going to be able to walk you through the steps of, what that looks like.
So I have a question. Okay, so if someone's trying to start their portfolio.
Yes.
I know I follow a lot of pages who are always talking about investing into like the duplexes, the 7 apartment, what's the real word for it? Like where it'd be like a big unit. Like,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you buy an apartment building.
Like a complex? Like
Yeah. That's probably the word for it. But when you're like starting your portfolio, from your point of view, like where do you think is the best place to start? Like, do you think it is better to just get that single home, get that condo, or get that multi-unit space, like to start out?
I personally think, this is my personal opinion, that if you're looking for investment strategy, the more doors, the better. So that means that you're getting money from multiple sources. It's less risky, meaning if you have one investment property that only has one door, if that person defaults on their rent, then, that's kind of your issue, right?
True.
But if you have multiple units, the risk is less. So I think it's more risk adverse to invest in multifamily. And I think also on the back end, especially if you're planning to, make the property even more valuable by investing in it, overall, over time, it's going to probably be the more profitable asset.
Multifamily, because I do got a lot of...
And what's really cool for people, that I think is a really cool thing is, if your family's in another place, right? Something that I'm considering is like, okay, my family's in a place where I don't live, but maybe my little cousin can move into one of the units and manage it. I can create, a business for my community and my family by looking at multifamily.
I like that. I think that I feel like I agree with you on that, because that becomes a thing, right? When you do have properties out of state, it's not about, you just don't buy a property and just be like, go live in it. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to take care of it, keep it up, maintain it, and everything. So, and
it's a lot of work. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a easy thing. You have to definitely have the bandwidth to deal with it.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Because it could go awry. So what about you? I mean, you own property already. Are you using it as an income property?
I am. That's why I laugh, because I did the same thing with my family.
Oh, you put one of your cousins in there?
Bro, I'm talking about I don't care if he's yo. I had my uncle do the landscape. Mm-hmm. Man, it looked bad, Neff. You gotta send me extra $300 for that. I be like, bro, knock it off. But no, that is that's the thing. I do have family in Little Rock. I used to live in Little Rock. Yeah. So having them manage it and having somebody to always go and check it out when somebody is when pipes break or the plumbing gets messed up, you know what I mean? Those are all things that you gotta think about.
Be prepared for.
Yeah, and if you don't have nobody there to be on it, when you in
and
LA,
also help you to set that up,
right? Yeah, you got it. So property management is like a big thing, something that you got to think of. So that it's an expense. So you got to keep that in mind too when you're just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm about to just get all this money. It's like, nah, you want somebody that's like, or a company. They have companies out there that do property management. To always check on your property, or whenever something goes wrong, they'll send somebody out, or they'll take care of it.
Another thing that I'm seeing a lot of are people doing Airbnb businesses.
Yeah.
In other states.
That's booming.
It's booming. Yeah. I mean, you go anywhere and that's like people's bread and butter.
I'm a hater. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because you wish you did that? Or?
Hell yeah. I'm a hater. I'd be like, oh, dang. I got a couple studios downtown. I did that instead of the Airbnb thing. And I was like, should Airbnb.
Why can't you?
Well, you can.
Well, I can. I'm just saying, like, when it was booming, though, like when COVID happened, everybody had them checks and they was traveling like crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, people are still traveling.
Yeah, they are. It's. I mean, especially in summer or like vacation.
Yeah,
you know,
hot outside.
In the vacation times. But no, my parents got a couple Airbnbs also, and it's just like it's a little more up and down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And a lot of people got them, so it's just
it's differentiation. It's like you have to create an experience for people.
Right.
And
right.
those are the ones that thrive.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I always see whenever I'm looking at like the cute little Airbnbs, the ones that are like themed, or the ones that are like, okay, come here for a girl trip. It's all pink in here, or like we offer this inside of it, branded content inside. I feel like those like are the ones that are like booked up the most, like weeks out. Like you can't get into them. Wedding, like bridal shower themed Airbnbs, things like that. So before we wrap, because you guys know we like to keep them short, keep them sweet, but we like to entertain and inform. Ooh, that was cute. I'm gonna use that one next time. I feel like a rapper sometimes. But I ain't gonna hold you. Shout out to my man who's sleeping during the whole show.
Yo.
You guys are not.
He's like listening to like meditation
music.
Right.
Like, one of our camera operators is meditating with the air. He can't even hear us. He is in a deep zen. He definitely said it.
I'm kind of a little jealous because that's like the best sleep.
It looks so good, right?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, listen, I had my eyes on him for a different reason. I said, oh, okay, you gonna get this talking. You gonna get that talk.
But before we wrap, I want you to just, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions sometimes that people have about real estate, and everyone feels like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. But I feel like it's more to it than that. So, like, what is, like, the biggest misconception that you think people have about jumping into real estate, and what would you want them to prepare themselves mentally, educationally, before they take a leap into real estate?
You know, that's a good question. I think a lot of people think it starts with looking for a house. And it doesn't. It starts with looking at your finances first. It starts with, strategizing how you're going to buy a house, how you're going to be able to afford a mortgage, what that looks like. So I think a misconception is that it's really easy. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a challenge, and you need someone to help you walk you through the steps. But once you have the financing part of it figured out, you got to find a good agent, someone who connects with you, because at the end of the day, hopefully you're buying more property in the future. You want to build a relationship. And then once you have that, then there's a whole nother array of steps, really trying to understand what you want in your space. Sometimes that can be a process that I think people overlook, because maybe they're just looking for, yes, location is important, but you also have to think about, like, how do you want your day-to-day life to be? And I think coming to LA, a lot of people think, oh, I just want to be in the thick of it. Oh, I want to be in Hollywood. And I think I made that mistake when I first moved to LA. Because I was like, oh, I want to be in Hollywood and Vine, where all the action is.
Oh, man.
But I'm actually pretty low-key.
It's not low-key down there, though.
So I think something people should really consider is, like, what do I want my daily experience to look like? Do I want to be able to walk out of my house and go to a grocery store? Do I want to be able to, like, have people over? Like, all of those factors really are significant in your home search, especially in LA, because every neighborhood is a different subculture. Mm-hmm. Every neighborhood offers something completely different. So yeah, I think it starts with those three things initially, and then and then it's off to the races, because then you can target the areas that you want to live in, and that goes for everything from leases to purchase. Like, you need to have the same selectiveness in whatever process you're in.
I'm just curious to know. If we can all say, like, what area would you live in?
What would I or do?
Yeah, like if you could buy a house right now, what area would you live in? And why?
Like is money no object?
No, no money. Money's no object. Okay.
I would live in the Encino Hills.
I love Encino.
Interesting. Okay, nice.
I think I would live in Truesdale.
Where's that?
It's a neighborhood in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
But it's north of Sunset, and all the homes just have these expansive views, and it is incredible. And the streets are wide, and it's just you got space and beautiful trees and foliage. It's a magical neighborhood, in my opinion.
Okay.
Nice.
Where you at?
Thousand Oaks. I'm getting away from you niggas. I'm getting as far away from you niggas as possible. Y'all will never see. I want to farm in the back of my joint, walk out and see the mountains. I'm good. I'm out of here.
I love that.
I'll definitely pull up.
Yeah, I will definitely pull up. You'll be a weekend hangout.
Right.
Come to my house and we want to go out and like.
Yeah. We can do that.
And
We
we
can
go
do
hiking
that.
in my backyard, cause and then you can walk down and go hiking and stuff. So.
You have. I'll be hiking. You be
I
hiking
love
with
Encino,
people.
though. I used to
You doing
live.
what?
With the people.
Oh.
I'm getting away from all people.
Where do y'all live now? Where's everybody living?
Ooh, we is not telling them our business. And
I'm
with
not telling you.
Right.
and with that being said, this has been another episode. But no, with that being said, thank you so much, James, for coming. And I do love your name because that's my daddy's name and my brother's name.
Oh, fabulous.
I don't know one of them, but we're gonna let that leave to y'all curiosity.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. Please
Absolutely.
let everyone know where they can stay connected with you and how to reach out to you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's I am Jamez B. It's IAMJAMEZ B. And you can find me on my website, thelistinggroup.com. And yeah.
Okay, you have any last minute remarks, Disco?
Nah, it was good talking to you.
Likewise.
We'll talk off mic about just real estate.
Life.
All right, Ben. Everyone else, if you want to talk off mic, do it in our comments. And if you guys, thank you guys for tuning in with us. Remember, you guys can catch us on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I even put up some YouTube shorts, so you can check those out too. But yeah, make sure to stay in tune with us. I am your host, Kei Renee. This is Disko D. I always do that, and you get so disappointed. Disco. And this is Knowledge is Key.